All right, so let's finish chapter 7.2. This is part 2 where we're going to simplify expressions with rational exponents. And what I mean by rational exponents are exponents that are written as fractions, because usually when you see the word rational, that means that it can be written as a fraction. So why don't they just say fraction exponents? I don't know, they don't, but that's kind of your job, is to know how to speak math, and that's my job, is to help you learn how to speak math. So when you hear the words rational exponents, you're probably going to see a fraction in the exponent position. And we're starting with example 4 because this is the second part. The last video, we only got through example 3. I didn't want you to spend all of your night working on one lesson, and this lesson would have been like 30 minutes long. So I split it up for you. So example 4, I want you to simplify this. All right, so if I'm pretending that I'm learning this for the first time, I think what probably I would tell you is 81 to the 1/4 power. Instead of that being like 81 to the 4th power, where you multiply 81 by itself 4 times, what you're going to do is if it's to the 1/4 power or to a fraction power, you're going to work on getting the number that will multiply by itself 4 times and get 81. As long as that numerator is 1, you're just looking for the number that can multiply by itself 4 times and get 81. So that's going to be trial and error. You can use a calculator for this and do 81 to the 1/4 power. And I'll show you later how to change it to a radical. Not in this chapter. This will be way later. But yes, you can use a calculator and do 81 to the 1/4 power. Or you can just think. And I know you all have brains. And I know you all know how to think. So 81 to the 1/4. What number can I multiply by itself 4 times and get 81? So I can try 1. 1 times 1 times 1 times 1. But that's stupid because I'm just going to get 1. I could try 2. 2 times 2 times 2 times 2. That's going to be 4, 8, 16. Not 81. So let's try 3. 3 times 3 times 3 times 3. That's going to be 9. Oops. 9. 27. 81. So it's 3 times 3 times 3 times 3. Well, we don't want to put an equal sign there. Since 81 is 3 times 3 times 3 times 3, 81 to the 1/4 power is 3. Okay? So you're asking yourself, what number can I multiply by itself 4 times and get 3? So really, this is just me figuring it out. 81 to the 1/4 power equals 3. So let's do another one because you might be confused after the way I wrote that last one. So 27 to the 1/3. What number can I multiply by itself 3 times and get 27? So I'm just not going to write this down. I'm just going to say it. It's not 1 because 1 to any power is 1. 2 is 2 times 2 times 2, which is 8. 3 is 3 times 3 is 9 times 3 is 27. So it's 3 times 3 times 3. So the answer to 27 to the 1/3 is 3. Now the answer to all of them is not 3. That's just a poor choice in problems. Alright, so got it number 1 and 2. I'm going to kind of give you some hints real quick. 16 to the 1/4. You ask yourself the question, what can I multiply by itself 4 times and get 16? And number 2, 64 to the 1/2, you're asking yourself, what can I multiply by itself 2 times and get 64? All right, pause the video, find your answers, and then start it back up when you're finished. All right, example 5. We're going to change the name of the game here just a little bit. We are going to change the fraction. Instead of 1/2 and 1/3 and 1/4, or a fraction where the numerator is 1, we're going to change it so the numerator is a number. Now, you're going to do this the same way, but you've got 2 steps. So the first part, you're going to do the exact same way. You're going to look at the denominator, the bottom number, the denominator, And you're going to say, what can I multiply by itself 2 times and get 64? Then once you figure that out, you're going to say to the 3rd power. So what number can I multiply by itself 2 times and get 64? Now you can always start at the bottom and go to the top. So 2 times 2 is 4, 3 times 3 is 9. Or you could do that and keep going up. Or just like anything else, you get better at this with practice. So I know what it is just off the top of my head. You might want to do a little trial and error, but I know that 8 times 8 is 64. So 8 times 8, that's 2 times. So 8. And then 8 to the 3rd power is, you can grab your calculator if you need to, but it's 512. So there you go. And again, some calculators you can just put that into. So you might want to play with your calculator a little bit and see if you can figure it out. And if you think your calculator can do it, or you really want your calculator to do it, and you can't figure it out, you bring it to me tomorrow and I will be happy to look and see if I can figure it out for you. All right, B, 16 to the 3/4. So again, you're going to look at the denominator first. The denominator, you ask yourself, what can I multiply by itself 4 times and get 16? So if you start at the bottom, 2 times 2 times 2 times 2. Yep, that's 16. So it's 2. And once I do that, the 4 and the 16 go away, and it becomes 2. And then you keep the 3, and 2 to the 3rd power is 2 times 2 times 2, which is 8. Okay. Let's try it on our own. So I'm going to help you out just a little bit. For number 3, you ask yourself, what number can I multiply by itself 2 times and get 25? Then you take that number. Now you got to think of that number, and you take that number and you raise it to the 3rd power. Then number 4, you're going to ask yourself, what number can I multiply by itself 3 times and get 27? Then when you get that number, I want you to raise it to the 2nd power, or square it. All right, pause the video, do those 2 problems, and catch back up with me in the next example. All right, example 6. We're going to talk about parts of an exponent really quickly. Up here, I've just given you a sample. You know, you give variables if you just want to say this number. So I said any number to any number power. So any number A, in this case, A is called the base. And N is called the exponent. So that's the one I'm talking about when I'm talking about the base and the exponent. The base is the big number at the base, and the exponent is the little number up high. All right, example 6, simplify the expression. The reason I went through all of this to tell you about the base and the exponent was to explain when we do something like example 6, we need to make sure that we're only combining same bases like A and B and B. Now, this means multiplication, and these 2 parentheses together mean multiplication. So that means that you can, let's follow the order of operations. You always do the order of operations. So, PEMDAS starts with a P because you're supposed to do parentheses first. So, let's do parentheses first. 2 times 3 is 6. We knew to multiply because of that sign right there. And A and B don't have the same base, so we just can't do anything with them. We're just going to leave them A to the 2/3, B to the 1/4. We're going to multiply that by, and that's understood to be 1, so it's 1 times 5 is 5. And again, A and B are different, so I just can't do anything with them. I keep them. Now that we've done what's inside parentheses, we're going to do exponents. But I don't know what A and B are. So I can't very well do A to the 2/3 power. You just kind of have to leave that. So then I'm going to multiply. PEMDAS, parentheses, exponent, multiply. So multiply is next. And these 2 sets of parentheses here stuck together means I multiply these. So 6 times 5 is 30. A to the 2/3 times A to the 1/3. As long as they have the same denominator, you can go ahead and add them. So a to the 2/3 plus 1/3 is 3/3. And what is 3/3? 3 divided by 3 is 1. And you know you don't have to put the 1, but you can if you feel more comfortable with it. And then b to the 1/4 times b to the 1/2. Now I said you can go ahead and add as long as they already have the same denominator. These don't. So this is going to be b to the 1/4 plus 1/2. Now, some of you are really great with fractions. Some of you aren't. I'm going to do a little side work. I've got 1/2. So I'm going to take a pi, take half out of it, plus 1/4. So I'm going to take 1/4 out of that. Now how much is gone? 1/2 plus 1/4. If I put those two pi's together, I would have 1/2 of the pi and 1/4 of the pi gone. So how much of the pi is gone? 3/4. So 1/2 and 1/4 is 3/4. Now, do you have to always do it with pi? No. You could have put it in your calculator. You could have done it in your head. Alright, so your answer is 30a, b to the 3/4. Alright, let's do one more like this because it's a little bit difficult. So we're going to go ahead and do parentheses. 3 times 7 is 21. I can't do anything with the variables, so I'm just going to rewrite them. 3 times 7 again is 21. Can't do anything with the variables, so I just rewrite them. Now I can't do any exponents, so now I'm going to multiply the two together. So 21 times 21, that's going to be 441. J to the 2/3, j to the 1/6. Let's see. Let's do some scratch work. Let me come over here with a different color. 2/3 plus 1/6. If I change those so they have the same denominator, 2/3 is gonna become 4/6 plus 1/6, so that's 5/6. So j to the 5/6. Well, let's do it in green so it matches. And then m to the 1/4. M to the 3/2. And again, let's do some scratch work. Let me go ahead. I'll just erase what I had over here and do it again. So it's 1/4 plus 3/2. So if I change that so they have a common denominator, always go bigger. So it's going to be 1/4 plus, if I change that to a 4, I multiply by 2. So up top, that's going to be 3 times 2, which is 6, and that is 7/4. So my m will be to the 7/4. So my answer is 441, j to the 5/6, m to the 7/4. Alright, let's do your got it question. I kind of made it a little bit easier on you because I didn't give you any numbers out front to multiply by. All I want you to do is add your exponents and keep the same bases together. Alright, so same drill. Contact me. Email richards.emily@hcboe.us. You can Remind 101 me. You should have already signed up for it. If you haven't, you text at MRSRICH A1B. So it's at Miss Rich A1B to 81010. And then I'm also going to give you the link to the Facebook page on here. So you can get on there, participate in the discussion, and ask me any questions if you need to. Alright, good luck. I'll see you tomorrow.